So the other day I posted a photo on my Instagram comparing these two carts, Contra for the NES and Metal Slug for the Neo Geo MVS. I just got Metal Slug in the mail, so I was kind of excited about it. But anyways, I wanted to show how gigantic these things are. Look at it, it's huge. It makes this NES cart look like a little bitch, just like a little Game Boy cart or something. So someone asked me, they wanted to know, if the cart's so big, how big is the system? Must be gigantic. And how does it compare to the NES? So I thought about, taking a picture or something, but why not just show you? So here goes. Here we have the North American Nintendo NES. Obviously much larger than the Japanese Famicom, but we don't need to worry about that for now. It's about the size of a small VCR, if you remember what a VCR is. I had to Wikipedia it myself. But it's that shape, that big gray box we're familiar with. Cart slides inside, and you're ready to play. So, what about the Neo Geo MVS? Remember, this is the arcade cart, what they had at your local Godfather's Pizza, Chuck E. Cheese's, not something that you traditionally play at home. So it is quite large. But how about the system itself? Let's take a look. Oh God! Here we have the Neo Geo Mv-1 Motherboard. It's huge. It's gigantic. Look at the size of this thing. Now, this was the first release of the Neo Geo motherboard, so obviously it's friggin' huge. Later releases were a bit more compact than this, but it doesn't really matter because this thing is designed to be inside a big wooden cabinet, sort of away from view. SNK even came out later on with a 2-slot, a 4-slot, and even a 6-slot version of the board that would hold 6 games at a time. Imagine if your NES could do that. So, take your big ass cart, slide it in here, and you're ready to play. So these MVS carts, they actually have not one, but 2 circuit boards inside holding all the ROM chips. That's because these are literally full arcade boards inside this little cartridge. That allows for much larger sprites, much more colorful graphics compared to the little 8-bit NES system. Just take a look. You can see the graphics are miles beyond what the NES could do.
Heavy machine gun.
Alright, so the games are huge. The system's huge. What about the controllers? Well, here you have your standard traditional NES controller, the one we know and love, made for kind of little kid hands. Kind of fits my hands nicely. They're not too big. But it's that familiar shape, that classic D-pad, and the 2 BA buttons. What else do you need? So the Neo Geo controller, on the other hand, is not actually a controller. Staying true to the arcade experience, it's a giant arcade stick. Who would have guessed? I know, right? So you got your 4 buttons here, select start, and this joystick that just feels heavenly. Listen to that clickiness. Beautiful. Feels good, made for big man hands. Get those combos going in King of Fighters. It's a real treat. So I know this is a controller. What about the NES arcade stick, the Advantage? How does that compare? It doesn't. This thing is still child's play compared to the manliness that is the Neo Geo arcade stick. So there you have it. The Neo Geo, it's a man system. It's huge. The games are huge. The system's huge. It's expensive. But that's why they call it Pro Gear Spec. It's not for the light of heart. And that's why it's the shit.